Hey there, welcome to practice. This is the Movement Clinic and my name is Emily McMichael and I'm going to be leading you through a nice Warrior Two flow today. So you might want to consider grabbing a strap and maybe a block or two if you have them handy, and if not, no worries, we can proceed without. So let's get started. I like to sit on a block, so I'm going to take mine and take a seat on it. But whatever comfortable seat makes sense for you. And as you find your comfortable seat, place your hands somewhere on your thighs, face up or face down, whatever feels most natural for you. Maybe soften your gaze or close your eyes entirely. Also, whatever feels best for you. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open mouth, sigh. And again, inhale deeply. Open mouth, let it go. Last one, inhale deeply. Open mouth, sigh. Softly close your lips, but allow your jaw to remain relaxed as you direct your inhales and exhales out of your nose. Begin to tune into the breath, the tone of it, the texture of it, without thinking that you need to change it. There's nothing to fix. Just notice without judgment. Are you breathing more in your upper ribs, almost in your neck and throat? Are you drawing the breath more into the front of the body or the back of the body? Are they shallow? Begin to smooth out and deepen the breath by relaxing the belly even more. Taking these first moments to create a sense of arriving in your body. And if that's a little too woo-woo for you, maybe just notice the place where your hands are connecting to your thighs, the warmth and the gentle pressure. Maybe the sensation where your feet or your knees or shins are pressing into the mat. And as we move and breathe together today, I invite you to set this intention for practice, this awareness, a gentle noticing without judgment. Noticing without judgment the breath. Noticing without judgment sensations as they arise in your body. Noticing how you feel in this moment, what emotions are present. Are you feeling sleepy or restless from just a few moments of stillness? And again, nothing to change, nothing to fix, just information that we can gather about where we are right now as a whole person, mind, body, and feelings. And slowly lift your hands away from your thighs Notice the coolness there as you do. And bring your palms to meet at your heart. Notice the moment the skin of the palms and fingertips connect. Bow your head towards your hands in a gesture of gratitude for this practice and for yourself for showing up to it. And gently release your hands, lift your chin, open your eyes, and give yourself a moment to recalibrate and take in your surroundings. And as you're ready, go ahead and make your way to lie on your back. Move your block off to the side, but keep it handy. We'll possibly need it later if you have one. And as you lie on your back, bend your knees, plant your feet. And toe heel your feet slightly wider than your hips and just start to rock side to side across the flat part of your low back, the sacrum. And you'll notice my knees aren't moving very much. We're just gonna allow the legs to go with the momentum of only rocking side to side across the sacrum. Bringing a little bit of lubrication and movement into our lumbar spine before we mobilize it a little bit more for the rest of practice. And slowly pause. Good, and now place your hands on those frontal bony hip points. And notice the orientation of the low back in relationship to your mat. So mine's a little bit lifted, that natural curve of the low back. And as I inhale, I'm gonna exaggerate that and move my bony hip points closer to my thighs. Inhale. Good, and then exhale, I'm gonna flatten the low back and bring my bony hip points up towards my face. And inhale to arch. And exhale to flatten. Use the low belly. Release as you roll the bony hip points towards the thighs. And draw it in to draw the bony hip points up and in. Good, last round. Inhale to arch. Good. And exhale to flatten. Now, keep that. Feel those bony hip points and draw the belly up and in as though you could pull the bony hip points towards your belly button. You can't, but just that action in the low belly is what we're looking for. Make sure that those feet are still about outer hip width distance. Maybe toe heel them slightly closer. Edge the heels out just a little bit so your feet are parallel. And then slowly press into the feet to lift the hips off of the mat for sort of a low bridge. And slowly release. Keep lifting the low belly. Good. Press into the feet. Inhale, press up. And exhale, release. Let's do that again. Low belly still drawing up and in. Press down, hold here. Now I want you to notice what muscles here are firing on. So I like to take my pointer fingers right where my butt meets my hamstrings or the backs of my thighs, okay? And now here, imagine that you could squeeze your fingers in between your butt and your hamstrings. And then kind of relax the effort and let go. Good. And then again, squeeze. And that feeling of kind of sending the sit bones to the backs of the knees or lengthening the tailbone through the backs of the knees. And you'll notice the low belly really likes to draw up and in and needs to help make this happen. And then release the effort. Let's just try it one more time. Hips still hovering. Root down through the inner edges of the feet again, and then squeeze your fingers with your butt cheeks. Good. Keep that and release your hands down by your sides. Press the shoulder blades into the mat. Press down into the feet a little bit more to maybe bridge up a little bit higher. Good. And exhale, slowly release. Good. And again, you can rock side to side across the flat of the back, the sacrum. Take in any sensations that are present. Good. And then pause. Now, toe heel the feet together. Allow the knees to go wide and the soles of the feet to connect so that the outer edges of your feet are connecting with the mat, okay? And now flex your feet, so flex the toes away from each other. Draw the low belly up and in. Press down into the outer edges of the feet and bridge up again, knees wide, so like a butterfly shaped bridge. And exhale, release. Still that sensation of squeezing your fingers in between your butt cheeks and your thighs. Good. Inhale, press up. Exhale to release. You can keep your fingers, your pointer fingers, kind of hugging in if you'd like, or release the hands. And release. This last one we're gonna hold for little pulses. As you inhale, press up. And just pulse, maybe a centimeter, maybe an inch. Good. Again, take in any sensations that are happening. Just notice. Maybe a gentle sense of constriction. You might even feel a little cramping. It's okay. Good. And when you get to your highest height, pause, take an inhale. And exhale, press a little harder. See if you can get even higher. Notice if you're holding this in your jaw or your neck or your shoulders. Let go of any unnecessary effort. And slowly release your hips back down. Toe heel your feet back to outer hip width distance. Maybe actually all the way to the outer edges of the mat and let your knees fall in towards one another. It's sort of a counter to that nice big external rotation. A slight bit of internal rotation to let the low back widen. Good. Now hug the knees in towards the chest, grab the backs of the thighs underneath the knees and start to rock and roll your way to a seat. Actually, we're gonna meet in a tabletop position. So maybe you rock and roll so much you cross the ankles and come to a tabletop position. Plant the palms underneath the armpits, knees underneath your bony hip points. And just start to make some nice big hip circles. You can bring the shoulders into this. Move the neck as well. There is no one way. Get creative with it. Reverse the direction of your circles. Or change up your movement however it feels good. And then slowly come back to center and pause. Press down into the palms so much you feel the skin between your shoulder blades stretch. Send the left foot behind you for gate pose. Tuck the left toes under, plant the ball of the left foot. Right toes can spin out to the right slightly like a kickstand or not. Left heel plants, press down into the right hand, inhale, left fingertips to the sky, gate pose. Also sort of like a modified side plank. Draw those bony hip points up and in towards the belly button and root down through the outer edge of that back foot. Use that back thigh. And again, that sensation of hugging or squeezing your fingers underneath your butt cheeks or the gluteal fold if that sounds nicer to you. And you can turn that top hand to face the top of your mat and reach up and overhead. Arm is by your ear. Heart is lifting towards the sky underneath that lifted arm. Take another round of breath here. And exhale to release for gate pose. On the other side, right toes move behind you. Left toes can spin out to the left for balance or don't, but plant the right foot, root down through the outer edge of the right foot. You can see I'm drawing my low belly up and in and imagining that I'm hugging my finger underneath that gluteal fold on both legs. Inhale, right fingertips to the sky. So lots of engagement to keep all of this stable. This is our center of gravity. So this is where we're gonna really bring some awareness to move from today. Good. And turn that top hand to face the front of the mat and reach up and overhead. Good. And slowly release, right hand down, right knee down. Let's do that again. Inhale, left toes behind us. Gate pose on this side. Find it. Lift the low belly. Inhale, left arm overhead. Good. Now, float that back foot to the sky. Heel is in line with hip, not higher. It can be lower, of course, if that's where you're at today. But think about heel in line with hip. Flex all 5 toes to the long edge of the mat. Draw that low belly up and in. Squeeze your butt and press that back foot into an imaginary wall. Okay, so really strong back leg. Good. And turn the top fingertips to face forward, palm to face forward, and reach up and overhead. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Bring your toes and your fingertips to tap in front of your belly button. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, tap in front of the belly button. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale to tap. Look at the top of your mat. And set your left foot there. Plant the left foot and come into a low lunge, both hands inside of the left foot. Inhale, lengthen forward through the chest, back through that back heel. Exhale, press the front leg straight or straightish. Low belly is drawing up and in. Inhale to lunge. Stretch the heart forward. Press the back of the head into an imaginary resistance. Exhale, press the front leg straight or straightish. Last one, inhale to lunge. Exhale, press it straight or straightish. Hold here. Plant your right hand inside of your left ankle. Left fingertips reach forward and begin to send that left foot back into that floating gate pose. And slowly release. Left hand, left knee. Same thing, other side. Gate pose on the right with the right foot. Find it. Get nice and stable with the low belly drawing up and in. Really hugging the low part of your glutes into the backs of your thighs. And float the back foot, again pressing it strongly into that imaginary wall. You might even gaze down the front of the body and check, are all 5 of my toes pointing towards that long edge of my mat? Flip the top hand to face the front of the mat and reach up and overhead. Inhale, lengthen in opposite directions. Good. As we exhale, tap your toes towards your hand in front of your belly button. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to tap. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to tap. Gaze at the top of your mat and set your right foot there. Right hand inside of the right foot. Inhale, lengthen forward through the heart, back through that back heel. Lift the low belly up and in. Exhale, press the front leg straight or straightish. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, press it straightish. Last round, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, press it straightish. Hold here. Left hand is back down. Right fingertips reach forward. As we shift our weight back, we can start to lift the right leg into that floating gate pose. And slowly release. Walk your hands about 1 palm print in front of where they are. Press down and away through the hands so much you feel the skin stretch in between your shoulder blades. Keep that. Low belly lifts up and in. Tuck the toes. Down dog. You can pedal the feet out here. You can also keep the knees as bent as you need to keep length in the spine. And we're resisting gravity by pressing down and away through our palms and lengthening our hips out of our shoulders. Good. Inhale your gaze forward. And exhale, walk to the top of the mat to fold forward. Fingertips land lightly on shins. Inhale, lift halfway. Armpits lengthen out of your hips. Hips reach back away from your armpits. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees generously. Inhale, roll up to rise. Reach up and look up. Exhale your palms to your heart. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees as much as you need to. Good. Inhale, lift halfway. Bend your knees generously, pick up your left foot, float it to the back of the mat. High lunge. Press back through the back heel, reach forward through the heart. And inhale, lift up, reach up. Good. Now, even here, you can bend the back knee as much as you need to lift those bony hip points up and in towards the belly button. Keep that. Roll the tops of both thighs to the right to help square the hips to the top of the mat. And press back and down through the back heel any amount to lengthen that back leg. Arms lift up, lengthen the side bodies as you hug those low ribs in. Good. Plant the back heel, warrior two, much like we did with our gate pose. Root down through the outer edge of that back foot, draw the low belly up and in. Again, wrap those lower parts of your glutes so that they reach towards the backs of your thighs and reach front and back. Make sure that front knee is tracking over your middle toe, not dumping in. It really likes to. Press it out. Good. Now, flip the front palm and reverse. Reach up and back. Back hand lands weightlessly on that back thigh. Inhale to come out. Softly land that right forearm on your right thigh and sweep the top arm forward and up for side angle pose. Again, press down into that back foot and lengthen that lifted hand out of the back foot. Heart is spiraling underneath the lifted arm. Try not to collapse here. And notice your experience here. And good. Inhale to slowly lift out through warrior two. Cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot, step back to plank, top of a push-up. Lengthen forward through the chest, back through the heels, lift the front of the body into the back of the body, and then lower your knees for support if you would like, as you lower to your bellies. Plant the tops of the feet, lift the knees. Inhale, lift your heart, low cobra. Stretch the heart forward, stretch the side ribs forward. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes, use the knees or don't. Inhale, lift up, and down dog. Inhale the gaze forward as you lift the left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Good. Again, stretch back through the back heel, forward through the heart, press down into the feet, and inhale to come on up. Crescent lunge. Pardon me while I adjust my shirt. Good. Now really press down into the feet. Again, find that lift of those bony hip points up and in towards your belly button. You can see my back knee is already bent while I roll both thighs to the left to help square the hips. And I'm going to press my back heel back and down to lift my back thigh. Sweep the arms forward and up, lengthen out of the hips, and keep the low ribs in. And again, hear that really powerful action of feeling like you could squeeze something in this low part of your butt cheeks. Good. Warrior two. Plant the back heel. Feet should be in one line-ish. Make sure where that front knee is tracking. Make sure we're using this back leg and pressing into that back foot as we reach front and back. Good. Flip the front palm in reverse. This hand is weightless. You might even consider wrapping it around the back so you don't dump any weight into this knee. Inhale to come out through side angle pose. So lengthen forward through this front hand and then soften the forearm down. Sweep the back arm forward and up. Lengthen that lifted hand out of the back foot. Lift the heart to the sky. Draw the belly in. Don't lose any of that. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And inhale through warrior two. Cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot, step forward, fold forward, top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway, fingertips graze, shins lightly. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to rise, stand up, reach up and look up. Exhale your palms to your heart. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Release your arms to your sides and take a moment and notice whatever's present here. And again, softly open the eyes. Inhale, reach up. Maybe look up as fingertips touch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Fingertips land wherever it feels appropriate for you now. Notice if they're getting even lower on the shins. And exhale, plant the palms, step back, down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank pose. Use your knees or don't as you lower to your bellies, lengthening front to back. Plant the tops of the feet. Inhale, stretch the sides forward to find cobra pose. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes. Inhale, lift up. Use your knees or don't. Exhale, down dog. Good. Now, inhale, slowly lower the knees down to the mat to find your tabletop position. Adjust your hands as you need. Gate pose, right foot back. Send the right foot back. Left toes can spin out again as a little side or a kickstand, excuse me, if you need it for balance, but find that gate pose. Reach up, turn the top hand to face forward, and lengthen out of the back foot with the lifted hand. Float the foot to the sky. Inhale, gaze forward to the top of the mat. Exhale, send the foot forward as the hips move back to step the foot at the top of the mat. Land both hands inside of the foot. Lift the back knee. High lunge. Inhale. Exhale, press the front leg straight or straightish. Modified pyramid. Inhale to lunge. Exhale, press it straight or straightish. Inhale to lunge. Now, high lunge. Reach up. Make any adjustments that you need as you roll the tops of both thighs to the right, lifting the belly, using those low glute muscles to help support the low back here. Good. Plant the back heel. Find your warrior two. Exhale. Now here's where you might want to find your block and place it outside of the right foot or just within range. You may not. Good. Flip the front palm and reverse. Now here, notice all of the length that you're creating in this front low waist and in the ribs. I want you to keep that as we lengthen forward for side angle pose. So common for people to just kind of curl up here to try to find a spot to land the forearm or the hand. Not inherently bad, but let's keep creating length in both sides of the body, okay? So again, you can land forearm on thigh or maybe find your block on any level outside of that front ankle and sweep your top arm forward. Again, lengthen that lifted hand out of the back foot, press down into the back foot. Lift the heart underneath that lifted arm, take an inhale, and exhale, soften somewhere. Gaze forward at that front foot, inhale, and exhale, press the front leg straight or straightish, triangle pose, top hand reaches straight up so that shoulders are stacked. Wrists, shoulders, elbows, everything is in one line between both arms. And lengthen and flare the low ribs forward towards the top of the mat. Draw the low belly in, and from there, spiral the heart to the sky. Now, gaze to the top of the mat, half moon. Top hand can land on the top hip if you would like, or stay reaching up. Create a soft bend in that front knee, and you may take a block with you, you may not. As you reach forward, drag the back toes forward, and place that block somewhere underneath your shoulder. Back foot is flexed strongly. All 5 toes are pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Heel is in line with the hip. Wrists, elbows, shoulders are all stacked in one line. Take another inhale. Gaze at the floor. Soften the standing leg, bend the knee, and exhale your way back through warrior two. Good. Cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot, step back, down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower to your bellies. Use the knees or don't. Inhale, stretch the heart forward. Cobra. Exhale, release, and make your way back to down dog. Notice here how this down dog feels different. Notice if the feeling of being able to stretch your hips out of your armpits feels a little bit more accessible. Maybe the back of your right leg feels a little more open than the left. Just notice. Good, and inhale, gaze forward as you softly land the knees back into tabletop. Adjust your hands and your legs however you would like so we can come into the second side. Gate pose with the left foot. Left foot moves behind us. Right foot is positioned however you would like as you find your gate pose. Strong core, meaning low belly lifts up and in. Notice the low part of your glute muscles where they meet your thighs. And flip the top hand to reach up and overhead. Float the back foot up. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step the foot forward as you shift the hips back. Land both hands inside of the left foot and find your high lunge. Stretch front and back, inhale. Exhale, press the front leg straight or straightish. Inhale, lengthen front and back, lunge. Exhale, still lengthen front and back, press the front leg straightish. Good, inhale to lunge, hold. Draw the low belly up and in, press down, and with the next inhale, reach up. Find those little adjustments. Good. And plant the back heel, warrior two. Again, check out your alignment. Where's the front knee lining up over? What's happening with the back foot? Are you using the low belly? What's happening with the glutes right here? Flip the front palm and reverse, reach up and back. Take note of all this length here that you're creating. And inhale forward to your side angle. Grab your block, if indeed you have one. Sweep the top arm forward and up. Gaze down at the front foot. And as you inhale, press it straight or straight-ish for triangle. Top hand reaches straight up. Again, lengthen the low waist and ribs. Gaze forward. Top hand can land on that top hip if you would like. Soften that front knee. Again, block can go with you or not. I won't use mine on this round. So I can just reach my fingers forward, lengthen forward, drag the back foot, and press off of that standing leg. The minute this back foot leaves the mat, it's flexed and leg is strong, pressing into that imaginary wall behind us. Top hand lifts. And again, gaze wherever it feels right. Inhale the gaze towards the top of the mat or ahead of you somewhere. And as you exhale, soften the standing leg and make your way back to warrior two as softly as possible. And cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot, maybe take your block and move it to the other side of the mat. If you would like to use it again, plant the palms and step back to down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift, cobra or up dog. And exhale to down dog. Good. Inhale, slowly make your way back to that tabletop. And now we're gonna roll through that a little bit more breath to movement. Feel free to take your time. I often do. Take a couple of breaths in each pose. But certainly honor your own breath cycle if you're moving a little bit quicker or a little bit slower, but whatever allows you to maintain balance and awareness. And then as we start to pick up the pace, maybe notice yourself and what happens mentally and physically and otherwise within a new space of challenge. So, right foot back, gate pose. Inhale, lift fingertips to the sky. Float the foot to the sky, gaze forward. Exhale, step the foot forward. Lift the back knee, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, press it straight. Inhale to high lunge. Exhale, press it straight. This time as we inhale, we find crescent, lift the hands up. Exhale, warrior two, reach front and back, check the alignment. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse. We'll stay here for the exhale. Inhale, lengthens us forward into our side angle with or without a block. Inhale down at the top of the mat and press the front leg straight as you exhale. Triangle. Inhale the gaze forward, soften the front knee. And exhale, transition, half moon. Inhale here. Start to soften the standing leg. As you exhale, transition into warrior two. Cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot, step back to down dog. Option to stay here for the next few breaths or roll through that vinyasa as you inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower to your bellies. Lift your heart as you inhale. And exhale, down dog or meet us in down dog. And inhale shifts us forward, tabletop. Adjust hands and knees as needed. And left foot back. Inhale, find your way into gate pose. Float the back foot, gaze forward. Woo. And exhale, step that left foot forward. Land the hands inside of the left foot. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, press it straightish. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, press it straight. This time, inhale, bend the front knee and float the fingers forward and up. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the front palm and reverse through that inhale. Exhale, softens us here. Inhale forward through side angle. Whatever variation you're choosing. Gaze forward at that front foot with the next inhale. Exhale, press it straight or straightish through triangle pose. Gaze forward. Exhale, transition, half moon. Inhale to find it. And soften the standing leg. Exhale back through warrior two. Ooh. Enjoy the wiggles. Inhale, cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot, step forward, fold forward, top of the mat. Fingertips land on shins. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, stand up, reach up and look up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Excellent. Now step your feet about as wide as your sticky mat. We're gonna play with adding on crow or just play with playing with crow. So if you are not familiar with arm balances, here's a great way to learn. And you might also check out my tutorials to find the tutorial on crow so you can do it nice and slow, okay? But here, we'll just start off with a little bit of Malasana squats to kind of get our knees as close to our armpits as we can. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, palms through heart center, sink hips towards heels as low as they're gonna go. Don't worry about the shape. Press down into the feet. Inhale, stand up, reach up and out. Exhale, Malasana squat, sink hips to heels. Still that feeling of curling the sit bones under. Inhale, press it up, stand up. And exhale, Malasana squat. And here is where you'll hold, okay? And maybe start to play with crow pose. So, you're gonna plant your palms so that they're about shoulder width apart.
Fingers can turn out slightly so your pointer fingers are pointing mostly forward. And I want you to come up onto the balls of the feet. Get your hips high. Now, bend your knees. You can see my thighs are wide so they're outside of my ribs. And I'm gonna draw my arms back into my knees. And I'm gonna squeeze my inner knees on the back flap of my armpit, okay? And gaze forward, lean forward, squeeze in. Maybe start to shift forward and back. Just play with the transfer of weight, okay? Maybe shift forward and start to lift one foot and then tap the toes down, lift the other foot and the other, maybe float both. And slowly land back in your Malasana squat. So something to note for this next round of crow before we go back into our flow is that the minute your feet lift from the ground, squeeze the heels in towards the butt, squeeze the base of the big toes together, and have really active feet. We don't want what I call like dead feet or dead limbs that just kind of flop around like fish. We want them to be active. We want those muscles to be actively holding those bones in place so that they don't throw us off balance, okay? Just like we've been practicing with the floating gate foot, with half moon, same idea, okay? So go ahead and find your Malasana squat. Option, of course, is to stay here if you're not gonna be flying in crow. That's beside the point. Don't worry about that. Just open up those hips a little bit more. But no matter what, we're gonna be meeting back in plank pose, okay? So plant the palms. Again, come up onto the balls of the feet. Hug the arms back into the knees. Squeeze the inner knees onto the outer armpits. Gaze forward, press away through the hands. Squeeze your heels towards your butt and press the base of the big toes together. Inhale. And exhale, step, float, or flop back through Chaturanga. Lower to your bellies. Inhale, lift your hearts. And exhale, make your way to down dog. Good, inhale, slowly transition forward. Tabletop position. We're gonna go through our flow one more time. Right foot back, gate pose. Inhale, float the foot, gaze forward. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Right hand lands inside of right foot. Tuck the toes. Inhale, low lunge, or excuse me, high lunge. Exhale, press the front leg straight. Just one round of that. Inhale, float the arms up now through your high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the front palm, reverse inhale. Hold on the exhale. Inhale through your side angle. And exhale, triangle. Gaze forward, inhale, soften the standing leg. So half moon, excuse me, exhale. And inhale, slowly start to bend that standing leg. Maybe float the fingertips. Exhale through warrior two. Inhale, cartwheel the arms. Frame the front foot. Step back to down dog. Soften the knees down to the mat and adjust for the second side. Left toes move behind you. Inhale, float the hand up and the back foot up. Gaze forward. Exhale, draw the belly in, send the foot forward. Both hands land inside of that front foot. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, press it straightish. Good, inhale, float the arms up as you bend the front knee, crescent, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Flip the front palm, reach up and back, reverse. Exhale to hold. Good, inhale through side angle. Exhale, triangle, press the front leg straight. Inhale, gaze forward. Soften the front knee as you exhale into your half moon. Inhale, start to think about that transition. Soften the standing leg. Maybe float those front fingertips forward as you exhale through warrior two. Cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot, step forward, fold forward, top of the mat. Step those feet nice and wide for a wide-legged forward fold. And you might grab opposite elbows, bend your knees generously in ragdoll. Good. Now, release your fingertips back to the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, Malasana squat. Sink hips to heels. Inner arms press out, or outer arms press out onto inner knees. Maybe shimmy side to side a little bit here. Now here's your second or third opportunity to practice crow if you would like. We're all gonna meet in down dog. One last time. So, plant your palms. Again, check the alignment of those fingers. Spread the fingers comfortably wide. Give yourself a nice base. Root down into the palms and feel that pressing away we've been playing with. That stretching of the skin between the shoulder blades. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Bend the elbows so that you can really press the arms back into the legs and hug the knees onto those outer armpits. Maybe float the feet, flex them, squeeze the heels to the butt, lift the front of the body into the back of the body. And maybe float or flop back as you exhale. And meet in down dog, however you'd like to get there. Inhale to gaze forward, soften the knees to the mat, untuck the toes, child's pose. Leave those arms stretched out in front of you. And notice what's coming up for you here. How does your body feel now? It's the quality of your thoughts. It's the overall texture of your experience. And slowly walk your hands back. Plant the palms or fingertips outside of your shins and press away to sit up. Swing your feet out from underneath you so you can come to a seat. And this is where you might want to grab your strap. This is where a block might come in handy again. So we don't know until we get there, but Janu Shirshasana, left and right. So right foot is going to move out in front of you first. Bring the sole of the left foot inside of the right thigh. So one of the biggest things I can tell you here is not to place the thigh on top of your foot, but to place the foot inside of the thigh. Draw the low belly up and in, so even those hip points are really drawing up and in towards the belly button. Reach your inner left thigh through the left knee. And now flex all 5 of your right toes back towards your face. Here you might take your strap and capture the ball of the right foot. If you don't have one, don't worry about it, even if it's a dog leash or a belt that you have at home, you know, anything that sort of looks like this will work. But again, really reach out through the inner right heel as the right toes flex back toward your face. Inhale, lengthen the side bodies, draw the low ribs in. Exhale, turn your heart to face your foot. And again, inhale, find length. And then exhale, draw the low right belly back powerfully to hinge at the hips and fold over the right leg. So you might walk your hands down the strap. You might decide, like I'm going to get rid of the strap entirely. You may just be up here, but again, remember that idea of stretching the heart forward and reaching out through the heel. That's the same thing here. We're just in a different shape, okay? So low right belly draws back. We lengthen forward through the chest. Maybe even imagine you could lengthen forward through the back of the heart equally to fold you over that front leg. Good. Now, option is to stay here, or you might bring your right arm and elbow and forearm inside of the right thigh, or right leg rather. Draw the low belly up and in. Start to lift the heart towards the sky, so sort of like this side angle gate pose kind of shape in the upper body that we've been finding a little bit. So this front hand can either grab that front foot. I sometimes like to just soften it onto my left knee and get it out of the way. Left hand reaches behind you, flip the palm to face the sky, reach up and overhead. So a nice intense stretch for the left side body. Root down through the left sit bone as you lengthen those left fingers out of your left hip. And you may be able to grab this foot with the left hand, right? Just try not to make it so that in order to do that, you collapse your heart and you're here. If you are, just let go of the foot, lift the heart to the sky, and reverse. Come out of it so that you can find the benefit. And inhale to release. Come on up. Lengthen both legs out in front of you. And come into the other side. I kind of like to shake my toes in and out. Do a little shimmy. Now the sole of the right foot inside of the left thigh. Drawing the low belly up and in. Reaching out through the inner right thigh, through the inner right knee. As I flex the left toes back towards my face and reach out through my left heel. Inhale, reach up, grab the strap again, of course, if you would like. Exhale, low left belly draws in to help turn my heart to face my foot. Inhale to lengthen out through the side bodies. Exhale, draw the low left belly back to hinge at the hips and fold over the leg. Again, front and back of the heart are moving in unison towards your left foot. And notice here, one of the common things that I see people do is reach their chin forward as though the chin is trying to win a race to that front foot. But notice if you are doing that the back of your neck is really compressed. Just don't. Just do yourself a favor and lengthen the back of your head forward towards your foot. Even feel a sensation of lifting your throat into the back of your neck. Good, and again, same option is to stay right here. Or you may play with that kind of intense side stretch as you bring your left arm and shoulder and hand and elbow, the whole arm, inside of your left leg. Again, you can kind of grab the arch of the left foot if you like that variation. I like to just place my hand on my back knee or shin. As I lift and spiral my heart to the sky, I'm really drawing my low belly in and anchoring down through my right sit bone. Right arm reaches back, flip the palm to the sky, and I'm going to reach up and overhead. Again, lots of sensation here in this low right waist. It feels yummy for me. Come out of it any amount so that this can feel intense, depending on your body. But good, like it's doing something to help you. Good. And with your next inhale, come on out. Lengthen both legs out in front of you. Bring the inner thighs, inner feet to touch. This time, flex all 10 toes back towards your face. I like to rock side to side to sort of roll forward of my sit bones. Good. Draw both sides of the low belly up and in. Again, repeating this action over and over as we inhale, lengthen up through the fingertips. Exhale. Fold over the legs. Stretch the front and back of the heart forward. I like to shimmy side to side again until I find that spot that feels, again, intense, but like it's doing something for me. That good intense. Again, notice if your chin is trying to win a race to your feet, those toes stretching back towards you, especially the pinky toes. And place your fingertips on either side of your legs. Walk the hands back to sit up. And make your way to your backs. We start or finish where we began with our knees bent. And finding a bridge pose here. So plant the feet comfortably wide, heels about outer hip width distance. Try to have a sensation of the feet being parallel. So maybe even play with turning your toes forward slightly or in slightly rather. Just make sure that the toes aren't turning out. Okay. Root down through the inner edges of the feet. Draw the low belly up and in. Bony hip points draw in towards the belly button. And again, remember this low part of our glutes. As we inhale, press down into the feet and really squeeze. And exhale to lower on out. Now we're going to add the upper body. So keep drawing the low belly up and in. Place your palms down by your hips. Good. And as we inhale, we're going to lift the hips to the sky, reach the fingers to the sky, and draw the arms next to your ears. And exhale to lower. Good. Inhale to lift on up.
Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift and hold. Roll the tops of the shoulders into the mat. Press the hands into the mat, or the backs of the hands, rather, into the floor. Press into the feet a little bit more. And exhale to lower. Arms back down by your sides. Toe heel your feet as wide as your sticky mat. And allow the knees to rock side to side. You can let the arms come out to your sides. Bring the knees back up towards center. Pick up your right ankle, cross it over the top of your left thigh for a figure four. Flex your right toes back towards your face, or sorry, towards your knee. Different direction. Good, and then option is to stay here, just opening out that right hip here. You know, again, it depends on where you tend to be more tight in your body. You might also play with floating the left foot off of the mat and reaching in between your legs to grab the back of your left thigh. And then gently flex the left foot just to remind it it's there. Now, as you gaze at that left knee and right foot, notice if everything's more in line with your nose or the center of your chest. And if it is, play with bringing everything over to the left so that maybe the right ankle and that left thigh are more in line with your left armpit and shoulder. Notice if both sides of the waist are equal in length. And if they're not, which they often are not, lengthen which side needs to be lengthened. And slowly release. Uncross the ankle. Pick up your left ankle, cross it over the top of your right thigh. Flex left toes. Again, option is to stay here if this is enough for that left hip, or float the right foot and interlace the fingers around the back of that right thigh. Some people like to grab the shin. That's fine too. Flex the right foot. Soften your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Notice if you can maybe start to bring that right knee and thigh more in line with the right armpit and shoulder. Just moving the whole setup of your legs toward the right. Notice the length of both sides of your waist. And then slowly release. Uncross the ankles. And now pick up your right leg and cross it over the top of your left thigh. Totally, like a lady would sit. Arms come out to your sides, palms face up. And I like to pick up my hips and scooch them over to the right side of my mat a little bit. Take an inhale. And exhale your knees over to the left. If this is too much for you, if it's too intense on the low back, feel free to uncross the legs and simply stack one leg on top of the other. It's totally fine. Keep that right shoulder and shoulder blade rooting down into the mat as your anchor for the twist. Take an inhale here. Exhale, draw the belly in and lift the legs back up. Uncross the legs and scooch the hips back towards the center of your mat as you cross left thigh over right thigh. Hips pick up and move to the left. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the right. Take a couple more rounds of breath here. Good. Inhale deeply. Exhale, draw the belly in to lift the legs back up. Uncross the legs, pick up your hips and move them to center. Then hug your knees into your chest. Maybe wrap your forearms around your shins to reach for opposite elbows. Bring the inner edges of your legs to touch from thighs to feet. Forehead comes into your knees. Curl up into a tiny little ball. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Get smaller, get tighter. Squeeze a little harder. And slowly let go into Shavasana. Bring your shoulder blades underneath you and down your back. Feet are about outer hip width distance. Arms out to your sides, palms face up. Or maybe you want to place your hands on your belly or a hand on your heart. Whatever feels right for you. And again, take a moment and scan the body and notice. Notice the quality of your experience now. Notice how it feels to come to stillness in this moment. Let go of any unnecessary effort so that you can settle deeply into the support of the earth beneath you. I invite you and I encourage you to stay here as long as you can, as long as it feels valuable. And if you don't place value on stillness, I invite you to try here. And stay in Shavasana for as long as you need. Namaste.